Hi, I'm Karen Wythe, and I'm here with Marifran Korb. And she just wrote a wonderful book called Thriving in Partnership Beyond the Struggle, a love story. And I've read the book, and she and I just want to take a few minutes to share a little bit about it and talk about what's going on in the book. So I hope you tune in and listen to us to the end, and we'll jump right in.
Thanks,
So,
Karen. Thanks, Karen, for taking the time to do this. Really appreciate it.
oh, you're welcome, Mary Fran. Um, I just want to talk about what was the struggle that you mentioned in the title of this book?
Ah, we all have struggles in relationship. There's struggle to make money, to feed the family. Neither Ed nor I had a nest egg when we started. So there were lots of things that we had to do, things that were difficult. But over and above that was an illness, and
Mm,
an illness that made other struggles even worse or even more difficult. And when there's an illness that's hidden and um, and just totally undiagnosed, then the symptoms get very, very hard to identify, and you don't know what is going on. And the illness, um, had to do with depression and a certain type of depression. There are different types, but this one is anger depression, and it's about self-regulation. And so I thought, well, I can control my anger. How come he can't control his? And um, so, it didn't show up when we dated. And it didn't show up immediately when we were first married, just like 9 months into our marriage, right before our baby was born. And so I just thought it must be stress. And there were signals of this depression really earlier in his childhood that I didn't know about. And really, he didn't know he had depression either. So that's the struggle.
yeah. And that's a hard struggle when you're living through it and right in the process of living through it. So, who are the people that you think really need to hear about this experience?
Well, people who are breaking up, because that's what our relationship led to. And we, instead of having the usual angst, um, there are other ways to consider breaking up. And that's what I have in the book written about that. And it's also for people who have spouses that suffer any kind of mental illness.
Right. So, what would you say your mission is in publishing this book?
Um, my mission is to let people know that they're not alone, that they have a depressed partner. I want people to see the damage that happens when depression is undiagnosed and untreated. In this day and age, we have, now we have a lot more access to medication, antidepressants. When when Ed and I were first married, that didn't exist. It didn't happen. We were married in 1969, and Prozac didn't come out till 1988. So,
Right. Well,
like,
psychiatry was so new then.
yes, yes, and it's like, and there's such a stigma, that nobody, especially men, don't want to identify with having a mental illness or depression or anything. It's all always covered up. Um, so our society stigmatizes mental illness, and it's so wrong. you know, and it makes people reluctant and resistant to getting help.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
there's a lot of that even now.
Still today. Yes.
Yes.
So, what are some of the themes that we're going to see as we're looking through your Thriving book?
Mhm. Well, people with mental illness are actually wonderful people that are stuck in a body that limits their relationship range, until they get help. And so the hope is that medication can be a lifesaver. It can save their life and it can save the life of the partner, believe me. Um, so, and that not necessarily physical life, all that too, but the mental and emotional life of the sufferer and the partner. Um, and there's some people that think that medication is, has bad side effects. And actually, for my husband, there hasn't been any noticeable side effects. And there's side effects to not having medication too. And until we have something better, really, um, this is the way to go, I say. And some people say that medication dulls, excuse me, it dulls the emotions. And I have not seen that with my husband. Um, so, um, you know,
No, actually, Ed, and he is a fun-loving, quick-witted, jovial guy. I mean, you'd
he
never
is.
know.
And you know what? He wasn't when he was depressed. He wasn't any of that. You know,
Yeah,
um, he was when we dated because he was at his best. That's what you do when you're dating. And but he couldn't keep it up. Um, so it's he's been on this medication, which is Prozac, actually, for 29 years, and I haven't seen any bad side effects. So that's one thing. One theme is, get help if you have, uh, um, a mental illness. And also another theme is that separation and divorce are not always a bad thing. I was brought up to think that you should never, and never never break up a relationship. But I found out it can be a good thing. Neither Ed nor I would have had a chance at happiness had we stayed together, because I found out after we split that actually um, depression gets worse with age. That well, I should say, it gets worse if it's not treated. Not true if it is treated, that's great, but not treated, it'll get worse and worse and worse. Um, so um, that's another theme, and the other theme is to bring into any relationship as much understanding and empathy as you can, and because when you're in a relationship with someone with the depression, um, it's easy to blame them and to judge them for the way they're acting, and if you know when breaking up, your future depends on how you break up. And if you're
right.
continually blaming and upset with that person, you're just going to make it worse for yourself as well as, your husband and your children. Um, so,
Yeah, every truly. Yeah.
yes, and Ed didn't blame me for leaving either. So there was no blame on either side. And he could have been angry with me for leaving. Um, and I could have had a lot of agreement that he was wrong and I was a victim. So
Yeah.
I I encourage people to look at what they can do when things are difficult.
Excellent. Yeah. So do you have any closing thoughts or statements that you might want to share? Maybe an advice to give your readers?
Um, yes, lots of closing thoughts. Depression challenges love. It hid, its love was hidden. And I knew that he had a really loving nature. I saw that in him, and I wanted that to come out. And my reaction to his anger was I tried to please him more. That didn't work. I kept quiet about what I thought because I was getting a lot of pushback from him, not agreeing with what I thought, what I believed, what I said. That didn't help to keep quiet. He was an active volcano with a calm exterior. That's what I was living with, really. And so there's no thriving when depression is present. So the message is it's not the fault of the one with the disease. If a pill can change a person and restore them to who they really are, it's not something they just chose to act out. He can access his love, and share that, and his joy and his love of life, his vitality. So
Yeah.
that's
Well,
what
I just want to thank you for your bravery sharing your story. It is just marvelous that you've come forward and are giving this to the world. And I hope that so many readers get into it and find wonderful solutions for themselves, soulful solutions.
that's my business. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Karen. This was really, really wonderful of you.
You're welcome.
Wow.
Many blessings.
Many blessings. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.